Hello again YouTube, Pan here, and you join me at the tail end of a glorious, well I say glorious, I mean wet and wild, Easter bank holiday weekend where, despite having 4 full days of no work, I've still only just gotten around to being able to record a video. What can I say, I wasn't kidding when I said that March was going to be a busy month for me. Still, without further ado, what's in the purse this time? It's a Queen's Beast Gold Lion of England. Let's see if we can crack it out of this capsule and have a closer look. So what we have here is we have the Lion of England, which is the first of the Queen's Beast coins to be released. Here we're looking at the quarter ounce 4/9 pure gold version. And I'll be honest, I'm in a little bit of a sticky wicket with this one, because the Queen's Beast series is incredibly popular and has been talked about at great length by other YouTubers, to the point where I'm not sure really how much more I have to say about it. As a little bit of history, the association of England with a lion-based heraldry dates back to the Plantagenet kings of the 12th century. Lions are also commonly associated with Richard the Lionheart, obviously, again back in the 12th century and going off on crusades. So the Queen's Beast series itself is kind of a reimagining or a recreation of a series of 10 statues that were prepared for the Queen's coronation. And the idea being that each of them represents kind of a different dynasty, different aspect to the royal inheritance. And I kind of see this as being an interesting example of taking a very muddled kind of, royal lineage. If you start to look back at, the direct line of descendants and the number of times we've had weird kind of, offshoots and spurs and cousins and things. And this seems to kind of sell it as being a feature rather than a bug. So instead of it being, sort of a bit weird and inbred, instead it's like, well, not only is the claim to, authority through this, but it's also through this and this and this. And of all of these, the Lion of England is probably the most straightforward one to understand. So there is obviously the Kingdom of Wales, the Kingdom of Scotland, the Kingdom of England, and then there's Ireland, of which Northern Ireland is still a part of the United Kingdom. And these are all variously represented by different animals, and so in the case of Scotland it's a unicorn, and there are other animals associated with different kind of family dynasties and heraldries as well. And I will, I promise I'll actually research those properly before I talk about any of the other ones. So looking at this coin itself, first of all, this is the bullion version, so it has this kind of checkered textured background, rather than the plain background that you'll see on the proof versions. And I'm not a big fan of the proof versions of the Queen's Beast coins. I just seem to find them just looking a little bit too empty and spare. Whilst I'm kind of a big fan of kind of clean design in lots of other aspects of life, for me, coins, I think, are meant to be a little bit overly ornamental and a little bit too visually dense. And these ones, the Queen's Beast series, the bullion versions in general, really kind of hit that comfortable spot for me. I think this is why I'm not a big fan of things like the Australian Wildlife series or the Chinese pandas. Is that it feels a little bit too modern, a little bit too not exactly Art Deco, but definitely not a traditional kind of slightly overcrowded, poorly designed kind of a thing. I mean, American currency, particularly their paper currency, is notoriously badly designed, but kind of has this attitude of, well, yes, but tradition, damn it. And I kind of feel like that's a bit of what we see here. So the lion is commonly used as a symbol of England, is normally used as 3 lions. In fact, on the royal shield, which the lion is grasping in this coin, we see the 3 lion. Oh, we see the three-lion motif repeated twice on the quartered shield. Three lions also appearing on the football shirts of the England football team. Hence that famous song, "In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. Awoo, ooh, ooh, awee, bum, bum, away." No, maybe I'm thinking of a different song. So, other things to have a look at is that this is a 4/9 pure gold coin, so it's a very, very different, I was going to say a very different beast, it's a very, very different colour. So one interesting thing is about the pure gold as opposed to, say, the gold that you get in sovereigns, is that it's a very, very, it's a much more yellowy kind of a colour. It's much more of a kind of, I would say yellow, maybe even a kind of a paley yellow, depending on the lighting conditions. This is one of the really tricky things when it comes to making YouTube videos, is the colour never quite seems to match what you see in front of you. And then at other times it feels almost kind of like a much warmer version of gold. I guess I'm just getting a little bit lost in it now. This is one of the things I'm finding with these gold coins now that I've got kind of, really high purity ones rather than sovereigns, is that I'm just getting more and more drawn in by just holding them, looking at the colour. And yeah, you can kind of see why there is this weird sort of almost fetishization of it. The luster and the glow and, well, indeed, the ecstasy of gold. Now, talking a little about size, this is the 1/4 ounce series, so a 1/4 ounce of gold will set you back, in the UK, about 250 quid-ish. That's kind of spot value. You'll probably pay a bit more than that as a premium to get a coin, particularly a nice one like this one. And this is, without doubt, the single most expensive coin I have in my collection at present. And it's also the largest gold coin that I have thus far purchased, and it's really kind of, I've been desperately trying to avoid the term size queen, but I'm really, really interested in getting larger coins than this. So the first coins I got were silver 1 ounce Britannias, kind of the same as everyone in the UK, really. And what I really, really liked was that nice chunky feeling, that feeling that this wasn't, kind of a normal practical coin. This was, that I used the term, bullion coin, and that kind of felt, nice and special and different. And certainly the 1/4 ounce is chunkier than any of the others I've held, and when you hold it in your hand, you can really feel the density and the weight to it. But it's still quite small. I've looked at the density figures, and gold is about twice as dense as silver, so there's a million things, even if I go up to getting a full ounce of gold, it's not going to feel that same kind of chunkiness that I get from an ounce of silver. And this is a very, very dangerous path of thinking to be going down, because essentially what I'm feeling is almost slightly disappointed each time I go up a size. It's like, well, I thought the 1/4 ounce would be really impressive, and it's still, it's good, but it's still very much, kind of a smaller coin than I was expecting. So, other stock thoughts about the Queen's Beast series. The Lion was very, very popular, and still commands quite a premium. The ones that followed after it have done very well, but slightly less so, and the Black Bull of Clarence I've yet to get my hands on, but again, his a bit controversial. My personal take on it is it's the best that could be expected, really, from kind of a poison chalice. Like, how do you make a bull look dramatic? Whereas this lion, for example, is a very, very good one. It's got a certain amount of drama and poise about it without kind of going the full Thundercats route of the New Zealand Mint Roaring Lion coin. I'll see if I can slip a still of it in here, which is a ridiculous a piece of design. But it's not gone the full heraldic route of the is it Scandinavian one? Again, I'll see if I can slip in a still of the coin that I'm talking about, which are both really, really interesting designs, and this one kind of sits in a happy kind of middle ground. So carefully turning the coin over to the other side. there isn't really a huge amount to report. This is kind of from the period back in 2016 when we were still doing the kind of weird kind of pebble dash effect behind the Queen on the bullion coins. I'm not much of a fan, but it is what it is, and I think it's far less objectionable in this small format than it is when it's on the larger 1 ounce silver bullion coins. And frankly, I'm just thoroughly enjoying looking and luxuriating these coins, so I'm frankly just going to take a couple of minutes of just zooming in and having a very close look at them. So a quarter ounce is a little bigger than a sovereign, and I have to say there is a bit of me is kind of tempted to think, well, okay, first of all I'll admit that over on the silver forum I've been having a bit of a discussion thread about the odd idea of sovereign rings. I thought they were kind of classy. It turns out that they actually might have been a bit chavvier than I had realised, and the thread then led on to a fascinating comparison of people's different souped up hatchbacks. This is actually a little bit bigger than a sovereign, and there is a bit of me that thinks that this would make for an amazing piece of jewellery. It just seems almost a little bit of a shame to do that with such a nice coin. What do you think? Would it be some kind of heresy to take this coin and fix it into a ring or some other piece of ornamentation? Let me know in the comments below. Bye for now.